welcome back to the Black FemFlames show. I'm Clara, and this is Alicia, and yes, and now we want to welcome our wonderful Twin Flames Unite group. Yay!
This is so cool.
We're so excited to have you guys. We finally have a wonderful guest. I just can't wait for you guys to drip all of your wisdom on us for a little.
We gonna try.
Oh gosh.
So tell us about you guys. Tell us a little bit about you guys.
Okay, who started last
time? You go, because your throat chakra is doing much better now.
Oh wow. Okay. So I'll give you a little preview of our relationships before we got together and up until now. So prior to us getting a relationship, I was in a 10-year marriage that ended amicably. Yes, that's how you say that. And then about 2 years after that, I ended up getting connected with Leisha, but we kind of met each other prior to that, which we're going to get into in just a moment. And then Leisha was just moving from New York out of one relationship. I'm telling your story.
Tell it, baby.
Okay.
Tell it, baby. Tell
it. Yeah, so she was coming out of a relationship, coming from New York, moving to Alabama, knew very little people. So that kind of helped in us connecting with one another. But we actually met each other while we used to work at the bank. And just for copyright purposes, we're not going to say the bank. Okay. But yeah, so we worked together. We actually sat across from each other on different teams. And after a while, we got cool with each other. We started being cordial, talking back and forth, things of that nature, really being friends, but nothing went past that. Because she could know, she knew, but she didn't tell me until after we got together, but she knew that I was in a messed up situation. She didn't know quite what it was. She couldn't put a finger on it, but she knew something wasn't right. But
telepathically, huh?
Yeah, but you still got to respect people's,
Right. And so as time went on, she ended up going to a whole nother department. And when she went to the other department, that's when I started my divorce. And so we didn't reconnect until about a year later, where we met each other again in the mall when I was just going out to a party with one of my friends. And then we connected then, and then we started going to work out together because I was helping her get in shape and things of that nature. But then just out of the blue, she sent me a text saying that she had more feelings for me, and then I kind of paused because I was like, hold up. Like I got feelings too, but I can't really explain what the hell this is. So it's like
awkward.
Yeah. So it's like awkward. So I like, and we still in one of our videos that we did, I keep forgetting the name of the title, but at the end we actually put the text in the video so people can see
that video.
What actually happened.
I saw that video. I can't remember the name. I definitely saw it.
Yeah, and so since then we've been together. The first 2-3 months in, we were like, this is just, Alicia said, this is just so awesome. We got to be able to share this with everybody. They got to know how to find a love like this.
Yeah.
And then we ended up starting our YouTube channel, and here we are.
Yeah.
So how did you guys know that you guys were twin flames? Like, what started that whole, like, oh my gosh, like, what is this? Like, how did you guys realize that?
It was just different. I mean, we didn't meet when we were teenagers. We met after we've been in relationships. We've had experiences. We've been in love, if you want to call it love. And so this was just something totally different.
Totally different.
Yes.
Our bubble love phase was just
off the chain.
Oh my God.
Because that first time, we actually, within that first month, we, one of my neighbors has a
he has in Panama City.
Yeah, he has a beach house down in Panama, and he let us stay down there for like 4 days.
4 days.
And we had a whole little house to ourselves, and it was just like a whole honeymoon.
Yeah.
And that was when you first got together?
No, we had been together for.
Oh, okay.
That was in May, and we got together in January.
Yeah. Because
Oh,
at that time we had, because we actually did one of our videos on that beach,
Yeah, we did.
which was pretty bad. The sound,
It was horrible.
that was in our early days. We know what the hell we were doing. But we ended up going through that bubble up phase. But to answer your question, how did we find out about Twin Flames?
yeah, how did y'all find out that you guys were twin flames? Like,
Ralph Smart.
Yeah.
One day we were watching one of his videos, and this was about 2 months into our relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he started naming off things. I was like, hold up.
Right.
Are we twin flames?
Right.
Wow.
And then we started having dreams, and I think the one thing that really confirmed everything, even though we felt it, one thing that really confirmed everything is when we had that dream on that couch, when we were doing that soul sinking.
Yeah.
It
was a trippy experience. We were just laying down, taking a midday afternoon nap or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so we're sitting curled up. She was in my arms, and so I was about to get up because I had finished my nap, but she was, from what I could tell, she was still asleep. And I was about to get up, but something was like, "No, you need to stay here." I'm like, what? Like I'm like, like what is this? Okay. It's like, no, you need to stay here. Y'all souls are sinking. I'm like, souls sinking? What the hell? Like, you know what? Let me just lay back down.
Right.
And I'm gonna act like this didn't happen.
wow.
But then she confirmed that the same thing happened to her. She was about to get up.
Yeah.
But then something told her to sit back down, lay back down.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we didn't know soul sinking was actually a thing.
Yeah.
Like it was a whole new term to us. We had no idea what it was about. And once we looked into it, it was like, yeah, we really need to get into this YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had plenty experiences. Even before getting into the relationship, like I would know what was going on with him. It was really, really weird. Like we just kind of read each other's minds. Like we even share dreams. So it's a lot more than just being in the physical relationship, if that makes sense.
You think that I don't mean to interrupt. Do you think that the dream sharing happened more so when you guys were in union, or was that something that you guys experienced in separation?
I want to say it was in union.
Yeah.
Is when that happened. But the crazy thing is that I used to have this dream, and I told her about this for the longest time. And it was messed up because I used to have this dream while I was in the marriage.
That was messed up.
Which was I was on a beach and I was having a wedding, and I could see my wife sitting on the beach, and she had her thing on, but she didn't have a traditional gown on. She had like something you would see when people are on the beach. I guess you could say some type of white gown, right? And so I couldn't see her face, and that would like it bugged me out for quite some time because I remember I used to have that dream before I got married. I had that dream while I was married, and I had that dream up until the point that I got with Leisha, and I had not had that dream again.
And remember one time when you had asked me, you said, if you were to get married in one place, where would it be?
Yeah.
And I was like, on the beach, of course, duh.
Oh my God.
That's when he told me about the dream. He was like, are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah, on the beach in a nice short white wedding dress. And he was like, oh my God. And that's when he told me he's been having this dream for a long time. It's like a recurring dream, but he can't see the person's face.
Wow.
And another thing, when we were looking for a place, it was frustrating because we couldn't find a place. And I started crying. I was so frustrated. We kept getting turned, no. All we were saying is no.
At one point, I was living with roommates, and she was living in hotels. Yeah. So it was like we wanted to get our own place, but everywhere we were going, it was like, no.
It was so hard, and I was crying. And then he was like, He said, don't cry. It's going to be okay. We're going to get our place. He was like, because I keep seeing you in a kitchen. It's in this kitchen and you're cooking. So he's like, I know that we're going to get a place. You just have to be patient. And something, I was crying. And when he said that, I believed him. It's just something came over me like a comforting to know that he's telling the truth. And what is it? A couple weeks after that, we got our place.
Yeah, got approved.
So our relationship is really different. Like it's super different.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that is so interesting. That's beautiful. I don't think you guys shared a lot of that, some of that stuff on YouTube, because I told you guys, like, you guys like helped me with my awakening. Like when I was going through my whole like awakening, because I was like, okay, what is this connection with this person? This is driving me crazy. Like I don't understand it. And then I came across the Twin Flame videos, and then I was like, okay, I need to speak to some color folks. Like I need to speak with I need some people with some melanin in order for me to my mind crazy. And I know we going through this a little different.
Right.
Black people.
It happens. It happens.
Oh my God! I was like, oh, they.
You know, that was a part of the reason why Leisha wanted to do the channel, because she realized when she started looking, it's like only ones that were talking about Twin Flames were doing tarot readings, or they were lunar people. Nobody looked like us.
That was why we connected, because it was like, okay, we really needed like a sister circle to kind of just be able to express and talk about all of the experience that you're having, because you really can't talk to anybody else about it, because they're just like, okay, you know, sis, like,
not with these experiences.
Yeah, it's like says he don't even really like you like that. Like he running from you. What is that? What are you talking about? So like meeting them, it was like, oh God, thank you God, someone on the planet that understands what's going on. So that was the whole reason why we had started. Well, it was more so it was Alicia's idea, because we were all talking and busting it up, and she's like, we should do a podcast.
Oh wow.
It's really rare, you know, just to even, like, because I wasn't looking, I was clueless, I was completely in the dark, and I was coming out of a engagement, and I found this person on Facebook, and it was just something about his eyes, and it was crazy from there. And I was like, are other melanated folks going through this? Because everybody's looking at me like I'm losing my mind, and I know what I feel, because for me, it's a little bit different. I'm the one, only child, no kids, you know, it's for me, I have different qualities, you know, and so I'm just like, yeah, I've never been infatuated with somebody like this before. What's really going on? So I started to go on support groups on Facebook, you know, and that's where I found Clara and Jazz. But it was weird because Jazz and I, you know, we went to college together. We didn't know. And we didn't even talk to each other.
Wow.
You know, yeah, like, and she was like, I see you in these support groups. Do you have a twin? And I was like, yeah, I do. Did we go to college together? Because, you know, Black folks usually, like, when I told my Blacks, they were like, are you tripping? And then I was like, no, I'm going to go meet this man. So I went to meet him. And I never met him in my life. And I just, within a few months, I was like, I'm going to go see who this is. I even asked him, who are you? You know, and then like my sister, she was like, he kind of looks like he could be your dad. I was like, yeah, it's getting weird because we do favor a lot. So I don't know. It's good to see, you know, other African American people who are aware of this.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I felt like a strong urge to just start the YouTube channel, share our journey, because of the simple fact that, you know, at the end of the day, people want to resonate with someone. They want to see someone that looks like them going through the same thing that they're going through, so they don't feel ostracized, or so they don't feel like, well, you know, how come, you know, what happened to me? Like, you know, so I thought that was really important for us to be able to share this, just for the resonance purposes.
Yeah.
You know, because it wasn't enough.
What were your views on being in a loving relationship prior to being in the twin flame connection, as opposed to like what you learned on the path and being in union?
Let you go first on that one.
So, you want to know like what our thoughts were as far as love compared to what we're experiencing now.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was a kid, I always wanted to be in a loving relationship. Like I grew up in a very loving home.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up, my great aunt, she adopted me, and that lady, she loved me unconditionally. So I had a lot of love growing up. I just never had like a father figure growing up that much. So I always knew that I wanted to be in a loving relationship. I saw my uncle and my aunt. That wasn't the best example. I mean, they were together forever, but I just know that's not the type of relationship I wanted. I wanted the love, like the TV love, honey, I'm home, that type of love. That's what I always wanted. So I actively pursued that when I was like, 19? And I guess I was looking for love in the wrong places because I didn't really know who I was.
Yeah.
So that made me, I couldn't really love myself like how I was supposed to, because I had childhood trauma and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was fragmented. So my relationships were messed up. But I always seek this type of love. This is the type of love that I always envisioned for myself. Somebody who could be my best friend, somebody who I can tell just about anything to, somebody who loves me unconditionally. Like, this man loves me. When I say unconditionally, I mean unconditionally.
You know what? I want to cut you off because I do feel that in your videos. Like when I watch your videos, like I remember like you guys had I guess it was like your birthday or something like that, or his birthday. I don't remember, but I remember, and I hear it all the time in my head. He says, "I love you because I love myself," and I'm like, damn, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Like, I love you because I love myself. Like that's a different kind of love, and that's a different kind of understanding of love, and that definitely resonated through there. I got feel it through into the video, so I definitely got that. So I just wanted to sprinkle that in there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful thing to really get to live what you were hoping for as a kid.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So have you guys been in separation since y'all been in union, or since y'all entered, like after you got your marriage, y'all just been together?
The only separation that I guess we really had, which we were never really in union at that point.
We were not in like a relationship setting. We were just friends at work. And and just to be honest, when we started sitting right next to each other, for me it was getting frustrating because I'm literally sitting across from him. Like it was, I don't know why they even did that. We were sitting so close.
That was our higher sales that set us.
I don't even think that anybody else was sitting like that.
Nobody else.
It was ridiculous. Like I'm
like,
staring at him.
Like we sitting
just like this.
Like the monitor, like right here.
And my monitor.
And so, like, if I sit up straight, we looking eye to eye.
Oh my God. Like, who did this?
So like a lot of times I'm sitting back like this behind my monitor. And then as soon as I sit up, there we go.
Right? Look, you wanted to look up. You wanted to look over that monitor anyway.
And I'm like very respectful. I'm like, this man is married. He's very beautiful. He's very kind-hearted, because you can feel how kind he is. Very knowledgeable. And I'm sitting right across from him, trying to really maintain. I'm like, this is crazy. This is torture. That's why I left. Like, I literally went and I applied for a different job in a different building.
Yeah. Is that because you had fallen in love with him? Like, did you fall in love with him very quickly?
Right. It's like I can't even explain. It was a pull.
It's like the movie.
It was like a
pull. Like the movies.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what is life? What is this? And I'm trying to really like catch myself, like, okay, settle yourself, calm down. And so every day I have to keep going over this. And then one day I just caught myself getting excited because he comes in at I had picked up the 5 a.m. shift. He comes in, I think, at 6. And so I'm at my desk, clockwork, looking. I'm like, he about to turn the corner. And I'm like, okay, Lisa, you're doing too much. You are doing too much. And so when I started getting excited, when he was coming to work, I know I had to leave. I had to get out of there because he was married.
Oh, my goodness.
That's for me in my books. That's a no.
Yeah, and see, that was see, and if you've ever worked in a call center, right? You know that most of the employees in the call center, it's like 80% women, probably like almost 90% women, right? And so during that time, like my marriage was like really rocky, and so I had to purposely pretend to either be busy or just not even talk to anybody, because just me, like I didn't want to give the impression that anything was going on, right? Because I was at a point where I was trying to piece together the marriage and make something happen and make it work. And so when I would see her, she was the only one that I would get excited about seeing every day.
Wow.
Like she was like the only person I could consider to be cool with, right? And so, when those times came up, it's like, okay, I can't even let this, like I gotta make sure this stays friends. I can't let this go any further. But
it was a struggle. I mean, the universe put it in such a way that it was just crazy. It's like the universe was trying to put us together.
Oh man. Tell me what happened with your car.
My car got stolen off the lot from.
My goodness.
And so I didn't have a car. And so my boss is telling me, why don't you carpool with someone that lives next to you? I'm like, I don't know these people. I don't really talk to anybody. They're not going to give me a ride. All of a sudden now I'm talking to them because I want to ride. They're probably going to say no.
Just because I'm just talking to you.
She was like, well, just ask around. She's like, Chris lives in your neighborhood. Why don't you ask him? I was like, no. I asked somebody else.
Anybody.
I asked somebody else. The girl took me, but then she stopped taking me after a couple of days. So now I don't have a choice. Now I got to ask him. So I asked him, and he was like, well, let me ask my wife and see what she says. And then if she says, okay, then I'll pick you up. And I was just like, oh my God, that is just so respectful.
Respectful, yeah.
That was just, my heart just went boom, boom. I was like, look at this man.
Like,
so
I love him even more.
Didn't even help. So he came back. He's like, yeah, I could pick you up. So because our shift was kind of close together, he came and he picked me up every morning. He'll come get me at 6:00. And that's when I started sensing that something was really, really wrong. And then one morning I was like, listen, I'm just staying in my lane here, but hey, if there's anything in this world that is bothering you and you just want to get it off your chest, I'm here. You can talk to me. I'm not going to tell anybody your business, but I'm here. If you want to vent, I'm right here. And for 2 seconds, he was about to tell me, but then he shut up. He was like, no, I'm okay. He was like, do you mind if I smoke a black and mild? I was like, wait, you got to be going through some real stuff to be smoking at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, Jesus.
So, but, just every day, just, having conversations back and forth, just eating our little cheese grits in the morning time for breakfast. So yeah, we had to I had to go and just focus on myself.
So she went and got a whole different position.
I did.
Stayed. We didn't see each other for about a year.
Yeah.
And actually, I saw her in passing one time. She was telling me about her book, and that was pretty much it. But we really didn't connect again until my divorce was over.
Yeah. And then he didn't even have to tell me he was divorced. Like I felt it in his spirit. And when I hugged him, I was like, holy shit, he is divorced.
Oh.
And then when I asked him, I texted him just for a confirmation because I already knew. And he was like, yeah, who told you? I was like, I kind of just guessed. Yeah, that's when we, the universe is trying to do some naughty things.
Pushing us.
Yeah. I heard somewhere it's like God will move mountains for you and your twin. Like, because you gotta think about like how you guys met and like you didn't have to do anything and like certain things in your life had to happen in order for y'all to fall into that position. And it's just like God will move mountains.
Drastic stuff, like took my car and everything.
Like, cause you was acting up.
Right.
Like you need to speak to this man, sis. That's why we put you next to him.
That was a test.
how was that for you, Chris? Like, knowing that you had feelings for someone else, or did you feel like, like how did you like deal with your connection to her while you were kind of going through your situation with your ending your marriage?
See, now I didn't necessarily know that was a connection. I just knew that we were really good friends because at that particular time in my life, I was really numb to a lot of emotions that were going on and things of that nature because I was just trying to get through the day. That's all I was trying to do. I was trying to get through the day. And because it's funny because once people find out that I was divorced at work, oh my gosh.
Sounds all right. Calls to a job.
Money. It was just like, wow. Yeah.
Oh, what you say, Jasmine?
I say call center jobs. That's how they do.
Oh yeah. So yeah, and like once they found out, it was like crazy. But during that time up until my divorce, it's like I was oblivious that anybody really had any type of feelings for me. Because that was one thing that I had to do. I had to make sure that I really pushed things away because if I had probably got a whiff of it during that time, I probably would have disrespected and crossed some boundaries. But I'm glad I didn't.
Try not to dig no karmic debt. That's so
wow. At least you can admit that, though. At least you can admit that. And it takes a strong person to turn away from temptation, from something that you want. It takes a strong individual
to turn away. Yes, it does.
Especially somebody like your twin. Because I know when we was going through our situation, like, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to give him up. Like, I know you got to go deal with this situation, but damn, you going to talk to me, damn it. You gonna talk about
we're going to be friends.
We 30 minutes away. Ask me if the sky's blue this away. I don't care what you ask me. Talk to me.
Man, I done blocked him on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. She went through him.
Oh, my friend, my twin knew. Okay, you piss me off, I'm blocking you. Block. Look, I would even get to the point where I say what I had to say, and I'll tell him about himself, and then I'll block him, and then I'll unblock him. I'll be like, now you want to say something? Block you again.
Yeah, I never unblocked him. I blocked him when we got together because
it's funny because we tried to send a friend request, and I was like, oh, you blocked me?
I blocked him, and that was it. I blocked him on Instagram. I blocked him on Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
Social media sites. I took him out my life because it was just not good for me to be focusing on.
And during those times, had you like so you're from meeting at work to finally finding him and him being single? How long was that? Like a little over a year, or how was it?
Yeah, it's about a year.
About a year. So did you get into any relationships in that time frame?
Yeah, he did. And I didn't get into any relationships, but I tried to date. As a matter of fact, I was dating this guy not too long before we got together. And he was it just wasn't so yeah.
It dwindled fast, right? Like
it was just I was just like I'll be okay. And I just left that alone because he was an older guy, and we went out to lunch or whatever, and it's something that he said that just made me just stop texting him altogether.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was just like, what am I doing? Because he was a meat eater and I was a vegetarian at the time.
That's not going to work.
That's all he ate was just meat. And then he would tell me, oh, I don't know how you could live like that. I like my smothered ribs. And and then, if that, to put insult to injury, he was like, I have some really bad ways, because he was recently divorced too. He said, I have some really bad ways that's going to probably land me to be a single man for the rest of my life.
He said, thank you for the warning, bye-bye.
Right, I was so grateful. Like, Source is really looking out for me. And I was like, that's not going to be me. I'm going to have somebody in my bed when I'm older. So that's not good. And that's how I knew that relationship would have never worked out. And I'm glad I never ventured there or, you know, I'm just so grateful that he gave me those pointers.
And mine was a complete nightmare. The relationship I went through prior to Alicia is the one that sent me into what's known as the dark night of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just because I tried to date too early. Not so much as far as getting over the marriage, but really being prepared to date. Because the level of women have changed.
Yes.
So yeah. And the crazy thing was that because I thought this one was the one I was supposed to be with, because we went to elementary school together, and we worked at the same job at one point in time. And at that time I was married. She was with somebody else. And then after my divorce, he just happens to pop up again. I was like, okay, let's venture this and see what's going on. And so we get into a relationship. That first month was awesome. Into that second month and a half, she totally flipped on me. Cause like she just wanted me to do everything for her. She knew that I was just going through a divorce, doing all of this, taking care of my son and stuff like that. And she wanted me to also support her. I was like, hold up. What? It's like,
what was you doing before me?
It's moving. I guess she was moving a little too quick.
Yeah, she was moving like way too quick, and like she just totally flipped on me. It's like, and so like she cut it off. We're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And so.
Yeah, you definitely learn your karmic lessons quickly after you meet your twin flame. Like it seemed like the relationships, like they'll be short lived, and like you learn those lessons fast. Like it took you 10 years to learn your karmic relationship with your marriage, and then as soon as you meet your twin, you going through them like, okay, this isn't gonna work. You go through it, you like, okay, that's not gonna happen. It happens fast. I definitely noticed that like on this twin flame trajectory, because I was married for 12 years, and then after we have 4 children. So after that, and you know, you're so raw after a marriage, and you know, trying to heal and stuff like that. So you know, you kind of already come in like, okay, I'm not putting up with this, that, but like we're not doing that. But then you still gotta find yourself and re-love yourself. So then when I met my twin, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna. And we had our separation. Then jumping into something quickly, it lasted 4 months, and I was able to get out of it quickly. I was like, okay, nope, it's not gonna work. I don't see us, because you know, like sometimes when you come into a relationship, you see the end. You're like, okay, that's not going to. If this person continues doing this, this is not going to happen. And then like with your twin, you don't see it end, and then it's kind of frightening. Like especially if you weren't prepared for it, you're like, okay, like this person.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that really helped us out in a relationship is going through those experiences, because a lot of people experience the run and chaser phase, like on and off.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really helped us out was that there was a lot of self-reflection that was done before we got into a relationship. Because like after my relationship ended with that one, I was like, hold up, what happened here? Like this just went way too quick. What was going on? So it was a lot of self-reflection that went on to see what was wrong on my part and all my other past relationships. So I was like, okay, so when I go into something moving forward, this is going to be something that I know, like communication has got to be key, and a lot of other things, you know, making sure that things are balanced, that there's not so much a give and take so much. And I think that's the same thing that happened on Leisha's front. So when we get to a situation, even in the rough patches that we go through, because we don't always see eye to eye. It's not always peaches and cream over here.
Yeah.
But, you know, because we've gone through journeys and we've got to a point where we can really be in control of our emotions, we can actually sit down and have a conversation. Even though it may be uncomfortable, we can still have a conversation and be able to work something out.
Right, exactly. And then I went through my dark night of the soul too. I think that's one of the reasons why our relationship is so harmonious, is because that time when I left and went to this other job, that entire time I was working on myself. Like I must have went through like 2 or 3 dark nights of the soul.
Yeah, I went to dark night of the soul more than once.
Learning to love myself. I even went to therapy That's one of the things that I went to therapy for an entire year. And I got a hold of this whole, because I was molested as a child and didn't realize how that negatively affected my decisions in life and my relationships. And
Yeah.
I actually went to therapy, like, trying to get some days off, and then went to therapy and realized, hold up, I really do need help.
I'm kind of broken. Let me fix this.
I need help.
Therapy is okay. I think more of us should get therapy and sit on the couch and not go talking to pastor and just really talk to a therapist
Yes.
and get some actual like clinical like help to just talk about your issues and talk about your feelings. Like I think that is the dopest thing ever. Like
Yes.
kudos to you
And
for
we did
taking that
therapy
step.
before we moved in together, because the kids and everything and the merging and whatnot. We actually went to therapy before we moved in together.
Wow.
And even after we moved in together, we still went to therapy to make sure that the transition was smooth.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's
Mhm.
dope. So with you guys being in a relationship now, like how does your love look? I know you said you have like, did you have to go through a lot of like trial and error, or was that more so just learning to cohabitate with each other? Like how does your relationship look as far as like your love goes and the difference between your last relationships? Like I know you said you grew, but like just how is it now?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, see, with and and I think this kind of goes into the question that you asked Alicia before, as far as how she saw love in the beginning versus how it is now.
Yeah.
Because before I got with Alicia, my idea of love was somebody who accepts me for me, which I had that idea in my head, but then I forgot about checking on myself. So that was one of the lessons that I learned in that 10-year marriage, was that you can't lose who you are. Because sometimes we can get so wrapped up in a relationship, whether it's, any type of relationship, because a job is a relationship, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, they're all relationships. But if you get too wound up in those relationships, you can lose who you are.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things for me, is that I forgot who I was and didn't really know what I wanted. So before getting with Alicia, I had to get back to the point of loving myself and knowing who I am, and knowing that, yes, I come first so that I can provide for somebody else. Because if I don't have anything to give, then what am I in a relationship for?
Yeah.
Okay. So that transition up until now is taking all of those lessons from all of I was about to say past lives, that's the Freudian slip. From all of those past relationships and just life experiences, and just having a deep, and I guess the other thing is having a deep respect for women. Because I'm not the one to try to go around and be with 1, 2, 3 and all of that. Like, no, that's too much energy. I can't do that.
I just don't have, I'm just too lazy for it.
Yeah. And so, so with this relationship, it's really bringing all of those things together so that we can really harmonize and pick up slack where the other one may fall off. And, sometimes it teeter-totters. Like one day I'm good, one day she's not good. And we're just here to pick up the slack when we can for each other, and just really share the love.
Yeah, and for me, I think the big difference in this relationship to my prior relationships is that unconditional love. The only, like I've told him before, the only person that's ever loved me like this is my mom. Like somebody just loving you on your worst day, on the days when you're yelling at everybody, they'll come and give you a kiss on the forehead, and instead of being like, well, what's wrong with you? Just give me a hug and kind of settle my energies. And so that sometimes that's all that people want, is to be heard and to be loved. And when you can love someone like that in their moments when they're not their greatest, that's unconditional love. Yeah. And so that's the biggest, for me, the biggest takeaway and the huge difference between my prior relationships. to the one that I'm having right now is the aspect of the unconditional love.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yeah. That's hands down.
Do you think that made it easy for your children when you guys like merged your families?
Yeah, you know what? My daughter, she asked me one day. She was like, "Mommy, how come you and Chris don't argue?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? So we supposed to argue?" She's like, "Yeah, because she lived with her dad in New York, and I guess she saw that they don't get along and stuff." So she's like, "Yeah, because my daddy and they argue all the time." So I'm like, "Well, I mean, we just have different ways of working out our differences."
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. That's dope. I love it.
I have a question. I know y'all said that y'all don't always have good days. So when y'all have those bad days, do y'all have like a certain way that y'all come to the table to talk about those disagreements without hitting below the belt?
Yeah. I mean, we don't. We look at. Well, for me, and I'm gonna let my baby speak on this too. But for me, because I've grown so much, and I understand that this life that we're living is about growth for your soul. It's a soul's journey, and I think when you have that perception on life, you operate different. So whenever there is something that's not right, or maybe he might not have coffee, his energies might be off, or I might just be going through something, feminine hormones, whatever. Or it might just be something that we might need to hold each other accountable for, like maybe some goals that we set out to do and we're not doing, we're slacking. So we'll sit down and we'll say, okay, let's talk about it. And we'll literally talk about it. So we'll sit down and he'll say, what's going on, and then I'll listen, and vice versa. And we'll come to a conclusion. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. And that's just how we
And I think the other secret sauce to it is that a lot of times you have to be able to step outside of your emotions, right? Because there are some times where if I feel like Leisha's not doing something right and I need to talk to her about what she's not doing right, but then I have to step back and look like, am I doing that?
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another tricky thing in this twin flame relationship.
Yeah,
because the twins, the first beginning of our relationship, we were showing each other who we truly are.
A lot of mirroring,
and it was tough to see who I really was.
And me too. Like I had to look at myself for the first time. I had to really look at myself, and when in this relationship, I have to say, even though I did a lot of healing and stuff like that and purging, being in union took it to the next level.
Yes.
Like I even was able to get information on how to do shadow work, like step by step, and I shared it on the YouTube channel. How to actually go through and heal that inner child. And then it turned out that I had abandonment issues. And I had to work on that because I would always think that he's ignoring me. But it turned out that I was ignoring myself.
Oh, wow.
And so that's a whole nother acceptance right there.
Wow. You guys have to send us the link so I can link your shadow work video on our
Well, that one is right now because we recently got upgraded on YouTube. So we have the member thing now where people can join, and that's actually one of the videos for the members.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
My bad. That's my bad.
Can't quite get that one for free.
That's my bad.
No.
Yeah.
But for that one, if my baby is cool with it, we can actually. Well, it's a big file. I don't know if I'll be able to share that video because it's about an hour or something long, and I don't have a way of transferring that through email. But we should. If there's a way for us to share that with you, also you can see it. We'll figure it out.
We'll definitely stay in contact. That's so powerful. That's really, really powerful. Do you have any questions, Lily?
No,
No.
my situation is very different. So
Oh,
I'm at a distance, thousands
long
of miles.
distance relationship?
No, no, I'm really not like, how a lot of people want union and all of that. Mine is more so, you have twins who are supposed to come together in this
Right,
realm. I'm a
right,
life path 9.
right.
9 is the final number. So I'm just on my journey and trying to get to the purpose.
Got you.
My twin is a 6, and when you do the math, he's a spiritual twin. I'm more of a matrix twin, but
Got you.
it's not really like my ultimate goal is to work towards my purpose. So I don't have many questions, but I love hearing this story because I think it's amazing. Some of the stuff, like when you talk about soul sinking and the dreams that happened to me when I was visiting my twin for the first time, which was, I remember seeing like this epic hand coming down at me, and I was like, whoa. And he was like, yeah, I can't remember what he said, but it was triggering because he was right there beside me, and I was in, what is it, theta, right before you go into sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wasn't asleep, and I was like, what the F was that? And I just woke up out of my sleep, and like he was like, oh, you in theta. But it's really cool, like, to meet different people who have met their twin or in union with their twin, but everybody's journey and purpose is a
And
little
that
bit.
is true. That is very, very true. I'm glad you said that because everyone, they just want to negate their life. They just want to stop everything, run Craig's in trouble. Like,
no, don't do that.
they're just not living their life and they're not really getting to know who they are. Like, what are you here for?
That's really the purpose of it.
Yeah, worried about my twin, what my twin is doing, focus on you because that's what we did.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're doing it.
Yeah, and that's really a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Because see, our twins, they pretty much come for the evolution of our souls.
Yeah.
That's what we're pretty much doing.
Yeah.
And the evolution of your soul, it doesn't mean that you have to be here on the physical.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that you're searching for more of your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There's a perfect saying that Seven Bomar said one time, and this is one of the things that we kind of live by in a sense, and that's why we're doing this detox right now. But one of the things is that if you want to get light, like get knowledge,
you gotta get light.
You gotta get light.
Yeah.
So, and in a sense, it means that double check your belief systems, which we call is BS.
Yeah.
You gotta check your belief systems to see if they are serving your greatest and highest good.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're serving your greatest, highest good, you keep them. But if they're not, you have to throw them away.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things to really let go of, and not so much the ego, because the ego keeps us here, because the ego is needed for the 3D, but you have to learn how to be in control of that. And one of the ways of being in control of it is really controlling your emotions. And controlling the emotions, if that is one thing that the melanated community can really grasp, we would blow everybody out the water.
Man.
Because there's so much power behind not being driven emotionally, but moving on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely a healing. That's something we have to focus on as far as healing us as a people. And I think that this whole twin flame trajectory, it kind of injects the love into it and learning that self-love and really understanding what unconditional love is and reserving it for yourself first. Because especially as colored women, we always put ourselves up, we sacrifice ourselves and gives ourselves so much, and we pour from an empty cup, and then we start to, like, since we are the nurturers, we're kind of taking that out on our kids because we don't have anything left and we're frustrated. So all these things, like, that's where you have to go to therapy and find out and find yourself and learning what it is that you need to do to forgive yourself and love yourself unconditionally, so you can learn and give that to anyone else that you decide to bring into your life. Like, that's really important. That's a big thing for us as a people.
Huge. And I was guilty of that myself too. Being in and that's another thing, that's another huge difference in being in my prior relationship with my kid's dad. I was miserable. and I was not a good mother. Like I wouldn't consider myself, yeah, feed them and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the level that I'm at right now, where I would talk to my kids and I would explain things to my kids instead of just flying off the handle because I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a different person almost.
Yeah. Definitely.
From then to now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely noticed that. I definitely noticed that. Like as a mom coming out of my marriage and crying to myself all the time. My kids were little. Like my kids are like they're right behind each other. So they were all small at the same time. And I'm just crying. I'm like, okay, I can't have my kids keep seeing me like really sad all the time. And then I'm just clocking out. Like I'm on my phone or, something like that. And I'm still doing activities with them, trying to make sure that they don't see that I'm so sad all the time. But then they're like, mommy, like, can you pay attention to me? Look at me, I'm doing this. And then I'm just kind of flying off the handle, just being really stressed. Like, okay, I just need a minute. Like, I just want to take a nap or something like that. But then once, getting out of it and then finding love for myself and like I'm way more at peace. I can communicate with them better, explaining things to them. I have more patience. And I'm just like, okay, baby, what's the problem? Let's talk about it. Did we make a good choice? Where are we being our best self? What are we doing?
That's it. Having those conversations, and that's what we do. We have more conversations, and let them understand this is a journey and it's life. You have feelings, and your feelings are valid. Yes, you're in a little body, but that doesn't mean that your feelings are not valid.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to do that stuff a few years ago. I was just sit down and be quiet.
Yeah, and like studies show that in kids, social emotional skills are the most important skills.
Yeah,
that is the most important skill when it comes to a child.
Yeah,
social emotional development.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you grew as a parent when you after you met your twin? Like, did you get more patient? Like, what do you think happened with you? Dad.
Oh, me. Right.
I'm the only mom here.
Okay. Well, I have more patience, but my house is always on 10. And I'm a 5. I'm a free spirited person. So with my house being in chaos, I fall right into that. So I mean, we just go with the flow around here. Now, as far as being in routine, we do have routine during school hours and all that kind of stuff, bedtime, reading, all that type of stuff. Like we have that, but as far as anything else, anything's go. We go around here. It's go. And then we have conversations, but they're a lot younger. Mine, my oldest is 7. So yeah, so they're 7, and then right behind that one.
Oh,
so
that's babies.
But I will say, since I've met my twin, my relationship with my children and myself has changed. I mean, he makes me want to be better.
Yeah. Yes, that is true. Like my baby makes me want to be a better person. I mean, I have to admit, prior to being in this relationship, I could have been mean, I was not necessarily the most friendliest person. Like I wouldn't feel like saying hi to someone or good afternoon or whatever the case may be. I'll just look at them and keep moving. But today I found myself telling someone, "Hey, how are you?" Like,
and really caring. Like I want to know how was
and caring more. Like I feel like I care more now. And
that's dope.
And that's
do you feel like you have better internal conversations and you interact with people a little bit better now, like just finding unconditional love within yourself?
No, I was a very social person before. I think that's one of the things where I was always social. I was always fun. I was raised in unconditional love. I was an only child. I lost my parents, so it was a little different for me. They put a lot of that into me before they left the world. So even my aunt taking over, we had the same date of birth. She was very big on, hey, you know, love yourself. It doesn't matter, you know, if you want to get small, go exercise, you know. So she really did pump that into me as a child. And just my conversations with myself, I think it was more so just forgiving myself for not seeing my worth. It was just normal because, like I stated, a lot of people be like, oh, you know, you rooted in this energy, rooted in that energy. But for me, a lot of it, because I didn't have parents, I had to root myself in my masculine energy because I couldn't call mama or daddy or anybody really and be like, hey, can you help me? Can you? So I had to like really push through with my goals and get things going. So I've always been like fun and free, but I never understood where that came from. You know, I always like to have fun, go out. You know, I did positive self-talk, but that when I got in that relationship, that was my first real relationship. And I was like, oh, getting out of it. So when I ran into my twin, I was like, our battle was a little different. So, I mean, he kind of reminded me, remember who you are, remember what you stand for.
That's,
Because
that's,
I wasn't
what you're supposed to
shy,
do.
but it was because he was telling me things like, you know, that he preferred, and I was like, you know, yeah, but you can pay attention. You can tell where somebody is, like, in terms of mindset. And another thing that's different between me and these ladies, my twin is 50.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Exactly. So for me, it's the dynamic.
yeah.
He's from a whole different era, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like, you know, a lot of times people deal with the same thing, but for me, I had to go very deep to even try to understand because we're not just talking about, you know, today. We're talking about 20 years before I was even born. You've lived on this earth and you've been through those type of, you know, struggles. So who's to say, you know, what he was dealing with? And here I am in a new generation, whole new realm. You know, I don't have the luxury of being like, oh, my twin is close to my age, and you know, we can. No, it's totally different.
Yeah.
20 years, and it taught me a lot about myself and my soul, and you know, I'm just like, could I? Is my soul old? Like, but the attraction was there. The attraction was it was through the roof.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
It's a soul connection, soulful connection. That's how that's definitely solidifying that it's a soulful connection. If you having like a whole decade.
20 years.
Eternal.
Yeah.
And you
That
know,
was the huge eye opener for me. And I wasn't, I don't know, like I dealt with teasing and stuff, but the way my family just supported me, like even because they already seen me losing like at a young age. So they made sure to step in and be like, okay, we're not gonna let you lose here. We're gonna still love you and be here for you and encourage you and motivate you. And that stuck with me, you know. And then I was always having a lot of friends, making a lot of memories in this show and that show, fashion show, step show, all it. And I never understood why I was like that because most people, you know, they'll be overweight and they'll be shy or they'll hate themselves. But it's, you know, like Jazz, you said something about that emotional development, you know, that was branded into my head as a child because they saw I was chubby. So it was like, make her, you know, tell her love herself, you know, and then I got these strong women around me who are putting on their makeup and jewelry and, you know, just having a good time and living their best. So that's what I grew up watching. So when I lost, you know, that I think that was the main thing that I needed to just really like see what all you accomplished without anyone. And that was the eye opener because I was like, wait a minute, you know, people have always been, they looked up to me because it's hard to be who you are in this society, let alone be a twin flame. Don't say that because people be like, oh my gosh, what is that? You crazy. So I don't know. It just kind of, I think the twin thing just brought it full circle for me. Like you're not only different, like, why am I so different? But you're different in this way. You're different in this way. You're different in this way. And I was like,
you just different all the way around.
Yeah, it was weird.
You know what? Is it Alethea? Alethea. Okay.
I like that.
Your spirit is like tremendous.
Yeah.
Okay. And those things all happen for a reason. even your whole twin flame setup is for a reason, because it's something more on the spiritual level. And I don't know how much you've tapped into your spiritual gifts, but there is something that is really amazing that is coming through. Very powerful. What all have you done, or what have you experienced? I'm going into a little conversation with you. Here we go.
Well, I kind of realized, like, coming together with these girls and looking at my experience, like the twin flame journey, I've been having dreams. Like, if I could share with y'all, like, since I was a child, I had a dream before my grandmother passed. I saw it before my mom passed. I felt it, like, and I'm getting chills. Like, I've told my friends, like, I've touched people before, and I told my friend, I said, hey, he's doing something to you and laughing at you behind your back. And she was like, what? And a few months later, it came out. Like, I've been on the elevator and I said, I'm different. And the elevator just goes crazy. I can read minds, read days. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for me to come into terms with. And when I finally met my twin, everything came. Boom.
even more.
And I get so angry because I'm like for me, these ladies have children and stuff. Like, I'm in solitude a lot. It's me and my dog, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, am I going crazy? Why am I getting these dreams? Why am I feeling this? Like, in all of the loss, like, I would have dreams and like, even when I was in my last relationship, that was really crazy because he started to take on some of my spiritual abilities.
So you
we were exchanging energy.
No, that was a spiritual vampire.
Yes. And he threatened me, and he was very, 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 very intimidated by my light. And for me, like, he knew, like, it was the sever of the tie between me and him. I feel like he was my false twin because we would see 11, 222, and 444, and he was just So then I bumped into my twin. I was like, okay, but then all this other stuff with the dreams and the hand and just and me realizing who I was, people are naturally drawn to me. I can't escape. It don't matter what I do, where I go. Like, it's like at work. I had a problem at work. Like, either people would really hate me or they would really love me.
No in between.
No in between.
None.
Yeah, it's no in between. Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy that you kind of can detect that, because for me, I don't really tell nobody about that stuff, because for me, it's really like, if I could go deep and be like, this happened, that happened, it happened so much, I don't even think about it. Yeah. Like, I've done it with everybody pretty much, and I'm just like, it's just who I am. I've even had like a person I was helping say, oh, she's too weird, I need to get away from her. Because it's like I start pulling the light, and I can I have friends who are 60 and 70. I have friends who are Caucasian, African American, friends across overseas. I don't even know why these people come and look for me.
You got the information.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot.
That's just a confirmation, because even when the call started, like, to be honest, completely honest, like, everybody else is on the screen, but for whatever reasons, my eyes get drawn back to you. So, and if I'm not mistaken, were you the one who started this group?
Yeah.
Okay. See, now that is a very significant thing, because oh gosh, hold on.
Go on, baby.
Okay.
Let it out.
So, in your situation, I don't know if you do any type of grounding techniques to really help those energies dispel. Okay, awesome. Continue to do that, because
let it out.
Okay, because it's like that light is there. Okay, so people like us. Okay. See, now this is the part that I really get excited about, because this transcends the whole twin flame dynamic. Right. This is why we're here, okay? The whole twin flame journey is to awaken us. It's to awaken that spiritual beast that is inside of us, right? And so when we start awakening this spiritual beast, just like you have, now, The only reason why I say do some grounded things, because if you go into an elevator and things start to go crazy, that means that your energy is all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was years ago though.
yeah. Okay.
And no elevator for you. I don't want to be trapped.
Oh man, it ain't
Not like
happened
me, I
lately.
got
That was
trapped
years
one
ago
time.
before I even knew anything. Like I was just,
Good.
I could get you guy.
Yeah. So see now, see, this is a beautiful thing, because now you're at a point to where your Taurus field is positively affecting those around you.
Yes.
And that's why this whole 6 feet distance thing, the social distance thing, is a bunch of bull.
Yes.
Because if you understand on the spiritual level,
Yep.
that if you're in 6 feet within somebody,
Yep.
and their Taurus field is within 6 feet,
Yep.
and so if you're within 6 feet of somebody that's feeling positive, that's feeling love, that's feeling joy, it's going to rub off on you.
Yep.
Instead, they want people to feel worried. They want people to feel fear and all of this stuff. Like, it is our responsibility to create a Taurus field that's one of love and go around and spread that. And so that is like so dope. So continue on your journey.
Yes.
Follow that intuition, and don't dim your life for anybody. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir when I say this, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Don't dim your life for
Don't dim
anybody.
your life.
I don't care who the guy
Thank
is.
you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Keep shining.
It's crazy. You felt that. I was like, most people, it's like, for me, my struggle is like, because people think I'm like, that's just who I am. Like, I'm just a messenger. I'm not trying to be a messed up individual. And people be like, how do you know this? Why do you say this? Why? And I be like, it's just who I am. And then like my friends, my best friends, they'll ditch me for a year or two, then they'll come back. Wow. Put up the messages and they'll be like, you were so right. And I'll be like, yeah, but it's only so much I can say, so much I can do. I had to stop taking on that burden. But then when I got into these groups, it was my perspective that was a little different. I was like, based on my research, and it's not just going one place. Like, I'm reading every weekend, and I'm trying to go within and find a lesson, and then all of a sudden I'm like, dang. And the mirroring thing, and I was like, well, I can be this way. Like, and I knew really it was my twin, because me and my twin, like, we're both very brutally honest, even with one another. So when I conversation, I'd be like, we don't have no speed. We have them, straight to the point, boom, boom. Like, and he's like, dang, and the mental. I'm like, you should know that there's nothing. My twin is a part of Mensa, so he's a genius. I've seen him solve a Rubik's Cube in like a minute.
Nice.
So he kind of put me, I was like, am I smart like that? Can I tap into I'm like, am I smart like that? And I'm like, okay, this is different, and then I was like, okay, this is very interesting, but I don't know. Like I said, it's just that honesty and that light, and I think that's something that he was trying to understand about me as well. Because I feel like we're a lot alike, but in that aspect, it was nothing that you could tell me to make me look at myself differently. I'm sorry.
There you go.
But it's because of everything that I've lost and have to work to rebuild within myself without people to help me do it. Most people have somebody there, somebody they could call on. I ain't have no siblings that I could call, no mama, no dad, nobody. So I had to go within, even at a young age, find God, find peace with the situation, not be mad at the world. So I think that's a part of my journey that just really like shook me to the core, because I was like, what am I supposed to do? And then I have people on Facebook reaching out, and they'll be like, oh, you're supposed to be like the same thing you basically just told me. Like, they'll tell me that, and I'm like, who are you? Right. Just off of being in these groups, like, so just random folks, and I just felt like it's something that you're supposed to do. And then, like, when I reached out to my twin, because I hit on him, I'm bold, Steph Curry with the 3. And he told me he was 50. I was like, 50? But he knew before I knew. And I was like, well, if he's 50, what does that mean for me? I incarnated 20 years after you. How long was I here? That's why I feel like an old lady. And I'm just 30. Yeah, but for me, all of my friends, like the people I work with, like I can call my friend and be like, hey girl, she's 60. And she gonna shoot, shoot the stuff with me, because she'll tell me her deepest and I'm just, oh, I'm 30. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I was respecting you, like, you my elbow. What's up, girl? We could be cool. You know? And she was telling me, she was like, oh, I'm trying to live vicariously through you, you know, because you're on this twin flame journey, and it reminds me a lot of me and my husband. And she told me, I was like, that might be. And, you know, she started, I was like, well, that could be your twin. You could have ended up with your twin, you know, or a soulmate. But as things got more and more intense and I started doing research, I realized that it was a normalcy. But as I say, I'm trying to find out, you know, the ultimate, like, what is my true purpose? Because I can bring people together, but what else? I'm trying to bring the collective together.
The collective.
Everybody.
And
not just one person. Like, that 5D something is real, because my thing is, it's about the purpose. You know, the 3D is just that. And just getting that knowledge about being a life path 9 and knowing that, you know, we met in this lifetime. So what does that mean for me? It's time for me to go on in the sand, but we got to see how. I'm just 30, so I'm just trying to see what's going to happen. You know, what's my purpose? And I'm happy that we're all here together.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful thing.
This
wow.
is definitely beautiful.
Yeah, I'm getting chills. Just
divine timing.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's weird. Like, I didn't expect for you to say that at all. At all.
Like I said, this is one of the things that we really try to get people to move towards, because yes, the twin flame dynamic is beautiful.
It is.
But we are here for a higher purpose.
And it's so much more than just the physical.
Yeah.
So much more.
Yeah.
And then unconditional love, that's another thing. Like, for me, I feel like I actually recognize, you know, where my twin was in his life, you know, and I feel like free will and choice, that's a big role in everything. And I said, I told him, I said, I love you unconditionally. Don't like that, because you know what that means. I don't have any expectation. I just want you to keep your soul happy, so I can keep on kicking over here while you're doing what you're doing over there. And I don't know, that was kind of what I was putting out there in the support group, because this journey can really just, you know, it brings up all the stuff that you're really not ready to address. You're really not ready.
That's why it comes up. Like, it comes at the exact time when you are ready to address it. You might think that you're not ready, but your higher self and God said, hey, this is your time, and this is when you're going to address it, because you will never know how strong you are until you put into under pressure and you figure that thing out fast.
I was already strong, but this is a connection that brings you to your knees, especially when you don't have nobody. It brought me to my knees, it humbled me, it made me look at who I was and remember who I was. And I remember going and having time spent with him, but it was lovely, you know, and I reminded him, hey, remember who you is too, you a genius, bro, come on, like,
right.
Wait. Come on, let's be evil geniuses together. Evil. It was pretty dope.
Superheroes.
About the twin flame journey.
Yeah, like that's the kind of vibe.
The journey back to yourself is the best part. That's the best part. The journey back to yourself.
Yes.
That's the best part. You be like, well then.
Oh my God. Like, oh my God. Learning to re-love yourself. It's a different type of love. And you just exude it. Like, it comes out of your pores. You just feel happy. You want to speak to people, strange, like everybody's drawn to you because you're just so happy. Like, when you are your authentic self, you attract everything that is yours. And you just feel so happy. And it's just like, that's the thing when you're going with flow and not going against it, because that's when you're going against flow, you're doing things that they're trying to force things and trying to force to be into relationships that you're not supposed to be in or deal with, or to be into situations that aren't for you or don't serve you. It feels penetrating and piercing. But when you're doing things that are for your higher purpose and on your soul journey, it feels like breathing air. It feels like flow, and everything comes to you exactly the way it's supposed to. That's how you start getting all those synchronicities and everything start coming to you, because you're rolling with the flow of the universe instead of trying to make it roll with you. And that's definitely something I learned.
I think now too, just even being in this time and waking up in this time period, it's just like, golly, I'm ready to put my boots on. I'm ready to get to work. Like I'm ready to get to work.
Yes.
Like because I've
Yes.
always been. I'm a history major, so I've always been in the weird thing and all this kind of stuff. But I think with life, I got kind of caught up in just working and taking care of kids and all that kind of stuff. So I felt like, well, I ain't have no purpose. That's all I was good for, was being a mom or whatever. I ain't have no big purpose. And I was like, girl, I really thought I was gonna be the first Black governor of Louisiana. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought that was me. I'm still working on that. Do you hear me? I'm still look. My history teacher used to be like, "You're gonna be the governor." I understand. You want to say Black though, didn't you? You wanted to say. I know you wanted to say it. Go ahead. I know you wanted to say it. And I just be like, look. And since I came back to myself, I'm like, girl, you was that weird girl. You was tough, but she cool as I don't know what. Put your boots on and let's go. So I'm just like, I'm just ready to get to work because we need that. Like this right here, we need this.
Yeah, this is a necessity. This is a necessity. We need more. We need more people, more of our people coming together with this kind of conversation.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how far you guys are in your spiritual journey. Anybody? Because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Because we dive.
Oh no, you're okay.
You dive very, very far and deep.
Look, it's all a learning experience.
Yeah. Like we have church. Anybody go to church?
No, I stopped going to church. I used to be very religious.
Okay,
My cousin and I.
All right, wonderful. So we're not
wonderful.
I ain't got time to drink no blood.
Oh.
Eat nobody.
And eat nobody.
Oh God!
I was about to say you are not a cannibal.
Right. Beautiful. You see, so this is where I would love to see our people in that mindset. And if we can just start some type of movement, I don't know. Just to get people to stop, like you said, it's like they're stuck in a perception. It's like they're in a loop. I don't know.
Post-traumatic slave syndrome. Let's call it exactly what it is. It's post-traumatic slave syndrome. Christianity brought us
get them out of that. Eating the body, drinking the blood. How can we get them to see that that's not serving them?
Okay. Now, this is just an insight that just came to me because part of one of the things that, because I do graphic design stuff and I'm taking graphic design classes right now, right? And one of the things I had to do, I had to go through and do this documentary. And I just happened to choose one documentary, and it was talking about Stolen Souls, which was a documentary about African artifacts being in these museums. They're just like, they don't belong there. They belong with the people. And see, in order for the healing to really go through, and this is, if y'all have ever heard of the disclosure thing that they're supposed to start telling people what really happened, what they need to disclose is the melanated people's real history.
Yes.
Because if you start going back and you go to the oldest of the oldest and you start pulling those bones that they pulled from Asia, from the Philippines, from Africa, from Scotland, from London, they're all melanated individuals.
They need to start telling the truth, like seriously. And then you see, they tell people to stay away from witchcraft and don't study astrology but in the meantime they're doing it.
Exactly.
They're literally
benefiting from it. That's what they're doing.
And you're selling your soul all at the same time.
Yeah, I mean they're literally eating the ancestors that they find. They eat them, and it's like, what are you doing? But it's a part of their ritual to keep the whole saga going, right?
Oh, she got something juicy. What you
go
got?
on, bring it, sister. Bring it. Yeah, go on and bring it.
I'm over here thinking about y'all talking about that beach, and I think that she is a descendant of someone that I am also a descendant of. Because you're giving me that water energy.
I do.
Oh boy, there we go.
Here we go with that again, boy.
Somebody is sister.
I am. I am a water baby.
I'm a priestess, but I haven't. I mean.
Yeah, I'm a water baby.
With the cinnamon and the honey. in
Oh
my
boy.
water, like.
Yeah, I'm a water person. Like I'm just always, I don't know, but
I
I'm
guess like
definitely
the
a
ocean,
water baby.
you know,
I love the
ocean.
ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that energy has been coming through strong, very, very, very strong.
So even in the dreams, my kids are having dreams about this fish lady. Yeah,
Mama Ocean.
Wow.
yeah. With blue, she's blue. It's a blue fish lady, and he said that she has fish inside of her, smaller fish inside of her. And apparently she was giving my daughter. No, my daughter was giving her information about Egypt.
Mm.
So I'm like, well, what is information? He's like, I don't know. All I know is, and he's 7. That's my 7-year-old. That's my youngest son.
Mm-hmm.
Now
he's pretty up there.
he's out there, and so he's the one that brought the information. And then we had a session with a young lady who actually gave us a picture of one of those water beings that came to her, and that's how he gave me the information about the fish lady, and it went together with the session. Like it's a lot of stuff that happens
Wow.
with us.
Yeah.
So
I'm
very
so
No coincidences. No
I love this.
coincidences.
I love
connected.
this. I love this. I love this spiritual like just journey because it felt like when you're religious, you're like trapped in this little box and you can only do certain things and you can't do certain you can't get outside because that's against God and you just feel trapped. But once you decide that God is in you, through you, and around you, and you just feel like it was just like coming out of a lake into like the ocean, like oh my God, where do all these beautiful fish come from? Like it's just like it just feels so like it just feels so especially being that open and like I love it. I love it. I love these conversations and I love it because I feel like melanated people since we are original people we so much closer like spiritually and like when we get awakened it's like
boom. And this is what the whole thing is. This is why they spend so much money.
And that's why they're trying to vaccinate all of the brown people first.
This is why the brown people need to get the vaccination first.
But they don't need. But this is the reason why they want
Right.
the melanated community to get it first because they know.
They know.
Because
No, and it's crazy because I think the University of Alethea, what is the university in New Orleans?
Is it Louisiana?
Xavier.
It's in New Orleans.
Xavier. There you go.
Xavier.
Yeah.
Xavier, they posted a letter saying they wanted every.
Yeah.
They wanted test subjects. They wanted test subjects.
And it's important that the melanated community be the trial subject.
Yeah, they want to see how it worked first.
Like, no. Like I swear
not doing that.
I saw that and I was just like, here they go with this mess.
But I swear for God, if everybody come knocking on our door, they gonna wish they didn't.
They're not gonna do that, baby.
I mean,
Right.
you got a big bag full of I wish a nigga would in your closet.
They know better.
But like we're trying to let the community know. But here's the thing, and it's funny because once you get out of religion, you can actually see what it really is.
Yeah.
But because it's a little bit of truth mixed up with a whole bunch of other stuff.
A whole bunch of other stuff.
A whole bunch of stolen information too.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they said is that the weak will always be among us, right? And this is the part that kind of breaks my heart a little bit because with this shift that is coming in December the 21st, not everybody is going to make it. I don't know if y'all know about December the 21st. Is that significant before I go into that?
No, I know about December 21st, like 2012, but
right. So this is 2012 in the Mayan calendar.
In the Mayan calendar,
2020 is 2012.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but before I go into that, but once again, going back to that particular scripture, like the weak shall always be among us, and there are some people who, no matter how much information you've given them, they're just not going to get it. And they're not meant to get it.
to get it.
And the hard part is having compassion for them and not pushing stuff onto them.
Yeah.
Because it's really tricky because like you got this information but you see like it's a cup,
right?
Yeah,
I'm telling you it's a cup, but you like
Yeah.
No,
I
that's a
think we
bowl.
actually kind of had that conversation the other day because we was just like, you want to help people so much that as a spiritual person, you got to understand, you got to respect others' boundaries also.
Yeah.
You can't just keep trying to get people to understand you and listen to you because they're not going to receive that information that way. Some are not meant to, some are not even ready. It's just, I mean, you just gonna have to accept the fact that some people are just gonna be those zombies, basically.
And
you just have to accept that fact.
Yeah.
You save who you can, who you can't. You just gotta let them go.
Yeah. That's what we try to do. That's why we got the YouTube channel. So we say what we gotta say. If somebody listens and it resonates, beautiful. If it doesn't resonate, we're not gonna force it on you. But for those that trigger something, we are grateful.
Right.
And Alethea, I think part of the purpose is for you to December the 21st. The reason we say that because during that time, and this is something that finally came to light to us a few months ago. Because we were always baffled why there are so many light workers that's just all scattered. Yeah, why are they not together, right? And
didn't I say that?
Yeah.
And the reason why they are not together is that because the light workers, for one, their Taurus fields are a lot bigger, so they're able to influence the environments that they're in like 10 times more. Yeah. But what's going to happen with that pole shift and the realignment of energies, those light workers are now going to become portals to allow other people to come through, which is also collecting other souls. Okay? So you have been getting yourself ready. Right.
That's deep because that's crazy because me and her discuss every day. At least tell them I pack a room every day. Y'all, I'm serious. I tell her every day, I'm like, girl, I'm going to Dallas. I'm getting to Dallas. I'm getting over there. I'm coming over there where you at. I'm coming to Dallas. And she'll be like, I think we're supposed to be doing something. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm getting over there. I don't know how I'm getting there yet, but me and these 7 kids, we finna pack up and we getting the discipline.
Well, I'm in Philadelphia. It's gonna be a little more difficult for me.
But they're all over. Yeah, they're all over. So if you have because with this time, with everything that's going on, if you have a nudge to get out from where you are, get out. There's a reason why that's happening. But then there are some people who have a feeling to stay where they are because that's where they need to be. Because these light workers are spread all over the world. And when this is just my hope, and I hope that this actually happens on December the 21st. But at that particular time, for those who are ready to transcend to 5D and above, those light workers are going to be portals to help them get there. Now, it may not be this whole sci-fi thing where you light up and you walk through a portal, but it may be just that the information that we share with them helps them to transcend.
And I think I read, I watched a YouTube video. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I know they were saying how a lot of light workers were, because we're from, well, I know she came from a smaller city. I'm in a smaller town. So they're more so moving to bigger areas to meet and help more people because it's a bigger area. It's a bigger audience, more people. So a lot of people are moving from small town because when you come from a small town, it's already boxed in. So like you said, you're dealing with people who you can't separate them from that way of life that we just been living so long. So sometimes you go to these bigger cities, people are more open-minded. people are more willing to listen because they already accept what is not considered normal.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a difference between being down south too, because it's like,
Yes.
It's a big
Oh,
difference.
the South ain't nothing to play with, man.
yeah, especially they.
Look, my twin moved to
Listen.
Mississippi, and I'm like, I'm not going over there. What are you doing over there?
Like, ain't no way we going to Mississippi. Like, that place is a time
And when I said
capsule.
he's dark, I'm talking about he's black. What are you doing? Get over here.
It's not for color code.
Mississippi is really not any place to
Yeah,
move
you want to go to
No.
Mississippi?
Ain't
Did you
nothing
think
going on
Django?
in
You
Mississippi.
move out of Mississippi, not in Mississippi.
Yes.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you said that because I feel like I'm already doing a lot of what you said. Because if I could show you my inbox, like,
Yeah.
there's people like I posted something about religion. I said, do people know the truth about religion? And I got like all of these comments from all of these people and all of these reactions, and I was like, okay.
Wow.
You know, and people will come, they'll be like, people that I don't even think that are watching me, they'll be like, I saw what you said, I saw what you did, I like how you did, just even the stuff that just really, I don't care about my hair, like, I want and I'm like, what is it? Do I need to use that power to reach people, to tell them something?
However you can.
Yes, ma'am.
However you can.
But I started, and
However
people,
you can.
I kind of embrace the intuitive, you know, like some people do cards, like the stuff that comes to me, I don't need cards. I just feel it. And the feeling is usually spot on. And then like, I honestly feel like my mom, my grandmother, all of them are with me like in spirit, but it's on it's an intuitive level. Like I got a little bit of everything from them and me. Like, I don't know, it's a lot. But the people who are coming up to me now and talking to me, they're like, I need someone stronger. And I'm like, let me see how I can help you.
Well,
Because a lot of it I have to fight on my own, and that's what I've been doing. Just like, I mean, I got God, you know, he's brought me through everything I went through since I was a little girl up until now. And he blesses me, you know, I'll be like, I don't know why it worked like that for me. It might not work like that for you, you know, because my relationship was formed with him within me from a little girl up because of what I was losing, what was being ripped away from me. So it was like character development. And then it was like, after I went through all of that as a child, it's like, nobody can take my strength away from me. It's not ego, it's survival at this point, because the world is already one. You're African American, you're Negro. You know, and then I'm chunky, so they be like, oh, she fat, she lazy. None of that. Nope. I'm about to straight body every stereotype. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm different. Because people looking at me like I'm crazy, like, oh, that big girl thinks she doing something. And I'm like,
but I am.
Right.
I never felt like that though. That's what I'm saying. Like when I met my twin, I stepped into my power. I was like, oh, so everybody around here feeling some type of way? I don't feel no type of way. Let's party. Y'all want to go have fun? They making it our size. We can wear it too. And everybody was like, how she get confidence like that? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I talk to people and they'll be like 50 and they'll be like, or 60 and be like, yeah, like I had one lady at the office doing intermittent fasting and like she is already vegan, don't eat meat, you know, and any like meat products or anything. But then she was like, I'm gonna start fasting and drinking my tea, and I'm like, okay, you know, because I was working out and stuff before I hurt myself, and she just, you know, just picked it up, and she was like, yeah, I feel so good, my spirit feels good, you know, and she still texts me and talks. I was like, this lady is like 30 years older than me. She listening to me. What is this?
Aww.
And people be like, your friends are that old? I'll be like, yeah. I mean, like, they don't forget me. I had one
clients that are like way older, 50s and 60s. I think the oldest one was 60.
Yeah.
That are taking, like, when we got on the calls with them, we like, we should be taking advice from you.
Right.
Right.
They're on their twin flame journey at 60 something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting.
So
I have a French friend before, he's 50 and his twin is like 55. And he was taking advice from me and he found me in one of them groups and I was like, so I talked to him. He was from France. I was like, well, this is dope. You know, and him and his twin favor. You know, she knew before he knew, and you know, he confided in me about the journey and stuff. And I was like, wow.
They got that Notebook type of love.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It was just crazy because I was like, these people are, and people from all over the world really reach out
All
to me.
over the world.
And I never understood. It don't matter the color. I never understood.
That has nothing to do with it at all.
We've talked to just about everybody on every continent.
Japan, we had a really nice
Wow.
Japan, Philippines, New Zealand,
Australia.
Netherlands, Australia, even
Oh
Africa.
wow.
We even had somebody in Africa.
Yeah, from actually no, it wasn't. I was about to say Wakanda.
What you say?
Botswana.
Botswana.
Yeah,
She was from Botswana.
We just remember because we like the Botswana
the
stone
crystal,
so
yeah,
much.
Botswana stone,
Yeah.
But yeah, we get clients from all over the globe. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
very beautiful.
Well, I want to
I think on this journey, you have to like. Go ahead.
Oh, because I want to try to close out because we've been on for a while.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
2
Great
hours.
conversation, though. I enjoyed it. I love
We
this
need a part
story.
two. It sounds like we need a part two because this is really comforting. This feels like home. I really like this.
Nice.
What did you want to say, Jazz, real quick?
No, I was just saying, like, along the journey, I think every twin flame couple has to understand their role in the new age society. Like, just because one couple is supposed to be doing this doesn't mean you have the same journey as them. You like for some people, you might supposed to be just raising conscious children. And you're that example of what a family should be like. The next ones, they might be something totally different. They might be out there doing mission work, save the children or something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's journey is totally different. So you have to be open to what your journey is and not look at it like, okay, your journey is not, you know, up to par to someone else's.
Right.
Because
don't
all
compare
have
chapter 1 to somebody
journeys.
else's chapter 22.
Yeah.
That's how we say it.
Exactly.
And we try to tell people this all the time. It is not a cookie cutter.
No.
Yeah, it's not a race.
Exactly.
It's not a race.
And in the midst of that, we all supposed to help each other anyway.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to be helping each other anyway.
Yep.
She could. There you go.
So,
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
So I want to thank you guys for coming on. We love you. We are so appreciative that you guys took some of your precious time to spend with us.
Appreciate it.
This was nice. I like this.
This was so nice. I can't wait. We definitely have to set something up and we could talk more about different things.
Definitely.
Like I would have to keep emailing back and forth. You guys have my number. We can text. You know, figure things out. We can be a part of our BFF club.
Really
right. Looking for new members.
Right. Oh yeah, and definitely when you finish this, definitely let us know when you upload it. Just want to make sure that we blast this on our channel so that they can come and see that we got more people like us.
Exactly.
It's quite a few people
Right.
like us. So yeah, they out there looking, so we got to show them that we out here.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We out there.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Lisa and Chris.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
I love it.
Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks for coming. See you guys. Black Film.
Until next time.
And Twin Flames Reunite.
Peace out.